Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my classic USFL franchise with the New Orleans Breakers. As you may notice, we're in week 15 now, and we have skipped a couple of weeks. And the reason for that is I recorded an entire episode, and the default microphone got changed suddenly on my editing software. And that caused none of the audio to come through, and so I could not publish the video. Otherwise, you'd be looking at a bunch of gameplay footage with no audio, and I didn't want that. So I kind of missed a week in publishing a video. But it is what it is, and I want to catch you up to what's been happening with the Breakers back in week 13. Which is the week I was not able to publish the video. The Breakers, we did lose to the Milwaukee Rage at home 24-16. A game in which the Breakers' run defense was not very good, allowing Jarrett Clement to rush for 163 yards on 25 attempts. That was a big reason for the lost by the Breakers. Another key play that came in that game was Justin Herbert threw a pick six late in the game. And that was pretty much, those two factors were pretty much the difference in this one. And so the Breakers fell to 6-7 after week 13. Now in week 14, the Breakers had a bye, so you didn't miss anything there in terms of the Breakers and what, and what their record is. Let's go over the standings and catch you up on that around the league, as there's only 3 weeks left in the regular season and things are wide open in the NFC. There's at least 7 or 8 teams still vying for that number 1 seed, as if we look at the conference standings, you can see there's a bunch of teams bunched up together near the top, including 5 teams tied in the loss column, and add in another 3 teams who are just 1 game behind them. So still a legitimate 7, make that 8 teams still vying for the number 1 seed in the NFC. Unfortunately, the Breakers are not one of them, and it's going to be difficult to get in the playoffs now. The Breakers are going to need to probably win out and get some help with all the teams that are above them in the conference standings. Over in the AFC, things are a little bit differently. Denver Gold continue to dominate. They're at 11-2 now. They still haven't locked up that number 1 seed because the Pittsburgh Maulers are 1 game behind them, sitting there at 10-3. But there is a drop-off after those 2 teams. So still lots of playoff positioning to go in these remaining 3 weeks in the USFL. We'll see how it plays out. For the Breakers this week, we have the Michigan Panthers to contend with. We're playing in Michigan. The Panthers are one of the worst teams in the league. They're sitting at 3-10, and they have lost their last 5 games. Of course, the same thing could have been said for the Milwaukee Rage, who had lost their last 5 games until we played them a couple of weeks ago. So let's go ahead and preview the Michigan Panthers, take a look at the status of our team, the Breakers, and then we'll go into the Madden training tool and take a look how the teams practice, and then we'll go in game. So the Michigan Panthers are 3-10. One thing to note with the Panthers is Richard Robbins, who started out the season as their starting quarterback, dislocated his ankle, and he's out for an extended period of time. But they do have a rookie quarterback who was the 7th overall pick that's been playing, and he's actually surpassed Richard Robbins in an overall rating. If we take a look here at the roster, you can see he has an 80. He's Ryan Fulton. He's up to an 83 overall. So he actually surpassed Richard Robbins' since Robbins got hurt. So he's the starting quarterback now, and he's had a little bit of interception problems, but of course that often comes with being a rookie quarterback. So not exactly surprising there, but that is the only major injury. That's the only injury for the Michigan Panthers. As you can see by the stats, they've just been struggling to score points. They're at the bottom of the league in offensive categories. Defensively, they're near the bottom as well, giving up to almost 24 points a game and 240 passing yards per game. Looking at some of their past games, this is all these games are done with the fast sim engine, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But it seems like they've been playing close games against bad teams. Chicago Blitz aren't a bad team, but they lost by 4 points there. They did lose last week to the Prowlers, who have not had a great season as well. But they have lost their last 5 games. But that doesn't mean anything, because the last team we lost to lost their last 5 games. So we just need to take care of business to get back in the playoff hunt. Let's take a quick look at where the Breakers stand. And our problem has been turnovers. We have 17 giveaways, 30. That's dead last in the USFL. That's been our Achilles heel. Also, pass defense, dead last. Again, it's kind of comparing apples and oranges, because many of the other teams, most of the other games are done with the fast sim engine. So it's not like my NFL franchise where I slow sim all the games, and that makes it's like comparing apples to apples in that situation. So we got to take that with a grain of salt. But I think the Breakers just need to play better as a team moving forward. The good news is we have no injuries. We're finally getting healthy at the end of the season. Just a recap of our last several games. We were on a 2-game winning streak before our last loss to Milwaukee. We've been playing better the second half of the season, but that 0-4 start is killing us, just like it did last season. We only have 4 games remaining. We have the Panthers, the Stallions, the Monarchs, and the Federals. So if we can finish strong on these last 4 games, we'll have a shot. So with that, let's go ahead and go into Madden Trainer Tool, see how the team practiced during the week, and then we'll go in game. All right, we're in the Madden Trainer Tool, and it looks like we got a lot of good results, but not great results. A lot of minor gains, it looks, from many players. I think the most noticeable thing is the wide receiver group, and Shaquille Mason continues to boom this season, as he has gone up another point in overall. He's up to a 76 now. And if I click on his history, you can see almost every week he has been making significant gains. We'll see in 1 minute how much gains he made since the beginning of the season in terms of his overall rating. But he's continued to make improvements to short route running, awareness, which is always good, catch in traffic, and spectacular catch. But he's up to 76 now, and he is moving up the depth chart because of it. Lawrence Gibson also moves to a 66 overall with his awareness gain. Although he did have an excellent practice, he only made a gain in 1 attribute, which is a little bit concerning. Nelson Burrow made some significant gains as well, including improving his agility, which is hard to do. Nelson Burrow has been hampered with injuries for much of the season, so he's having to play catch up in terms of his attributes. So hopefully he can continue to make those gains. Taking a look at the overall progress of the team, you can see here Shaquille Mason by far has made the biggest overall gains of anybody on the team. He's gone from a 70 to a 76 overall on the season so far. So he's gained 6 points in overall, and that's 2 points higher than the next 3 players beneath him. So good to see that there. But if you look at all the teams in the USFL, you can see there's players around the league who've made substantially more gains in their overall ranking, including a couple of left tackles, Quentin Fowler and Lance Birch. Quentin Fowler plays for the Panthers, the team we played this week. He's gained 10 points in overall rating since the beginning of the season, which is kind of incredible. So we'll be meeting him this week. All right, let's go in game and start preparing for our game against the Michigan Panthers. All right, we're in game. First thing is, now that we're completely healthy, we have too many wide receivers on the active roster. So I think we're going to want to move somebody else at a different position to the active roster. And I think we want to find a defensive end that we do not have on the practice squad. So I want to sign a free agent here. I did this a little bit ahead. I checked this ahead of time. Want somebody that's practice squad eligible. Lance Michael seems like a good candidate here. Because we don't have much depth at that position on the practice squad, so I think it's good to. And then we can demote one of our wideouts here, as we have so many wide receivers on the active roster. Gabe Pritchett. All right, now let's just adjust our depth chart here. So first at wide receiver, as we discussed, Shaquille Mason has just been booming this season. He's only a second-year guy, and he's already, with morale included, he's a 79. I'm gonna keep him at third though, just because he's not the, he's. If you look at him compared to Moore and Saunders, he's good at catching in traffic. His route running is not quite. His medium and deep route running isn't quite the same, and his release isn't that good. So I'm gonna keep him at third. Although I think I'm gonna move Saunders up to the first spot ahead of Moore. I just don't feel like we'll be getting a lot of production out of Moore. And Shaquille Mason, I think, would be a good slot receiver. So let's make sure, if we don't already have him like as a top slot receiver, I think that's probably something we want to do. So let's go ahead and check that real quick. Yeah, we already have him as our slot receiver, so we're good there. Quan George, we probably don't want him. Well, doesn't look like we have many other options there. That's probably fine. Now let's look at the defensive end position. We had just signed a right defensive end there. Lance McMichael. We'll put him there. And we'll put him third there as well. And I think we're good. I'm awfully tempted to not start Justin Herbert, based on that pick 6 from last game, but While we're still in contention, I think I'm gonna stick with Herbert. If we lose this game, I think that's when I want to start Jerry Goldberg. See what kind of quarterback he's gonna be. Because we have to make a decision on signing him or not. So he hasn't really improved through practice or anything. So I'm still at a point where I need to take a wait and see attitude with him. We also have Stephen Monroe, who's been improving. I wouldn't say he's been booming, but he's definitely been improving. So he's up to 72 with morale. So you need to keep an eye on his development as well. All right, and let's take a quick look at the playoff picture. And of course, we're not in it right now just because there's so many good teams in the NFC that are ahead of us. But right now, the number one seed would go to Los Angeles Express, and the number one seed in the other conference would go to the Denver Gold if the playoffs started today. So hopefully we can get in that picture sooner than later. All right, and with that, I think we're ready to start our game against the Michigan Panthers. Hopefully we can pull out a win here. Let's go to kickoff. All right, Breakers will be kicking it off. And that's going to be a touchback. Rookie quarterback starting for the Michigan Panthers. Ryan Fulton. He was a 7th overall pick, I believe. So hopefully we can get some turnovers from him today. Panthers start out in the shotgun formation. Fulton dumps it off to the running back, Broughton. That goes for 7 yards. This is going to be 2nd down and 3. Westbrook on a tackle for the Breakers. And McLean with his first carry, that goes for 5 yards and a Michigan 1st down. Quick throw by Fullerton is complete. That goes for 5 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 5. Broughton with his 2nd catch for the Panthers. And Fullerton's pass is complete there to the 46-yard line. Bennett with the 13-yard catch. So Panthers driving into Breakers territory on their first drive. Quick throw once again, and that is caught, but only for a yard. Second down and 9 now for the Panthers. And Fullerton's pass is incomplete, a little bit off the mark there, but it was well covered by Anderson there for the Breakers. It's going to be 3rd down and 9 now. Breakers showing blitz here. They back out of it though. Play action by Fullerton, and wide open is the receiver there at the 33-yard line. That is Moulton. And the Panthers move the chains once again. I formation for the Panthers. And handoff is to McLean as he gets 3 yards. This will be 2nd down and 7. Breakers had a hard time stopping the run a couple weeks ago in their last game. Fulton's getting pressured and he's going to go down for a sack. That is Hodges coming from the right side, and that's going to make it 3rd and very long for the Panthers. Fullerton drops the throw. He can't find anybody. He steps up in the pocket now, and he's going to throw, and he completes it to number 6 at the 18-yard line. To Broughton. Good job of Fulton there, staying patient and finding an open receiver. And that's another Panthers first down on 3rd and 17. McLean gets the carry, and he's still running. He's to the 5-yard line after a 13-yard run. And it's going to be 1st and goal for the Panthers. McLean gets the carry. He makes a move up the middle, and he fights his way into the end zone for a touchdown for the Michigan Panthers. And it is 7-0 Michigan. Justin Herbert been turning the ball over a little bit in the last few weeks. Hopefully he can correct that. 1st down and 10. Perryman gets the handoff. Well, he only gets a yard. Second down and 9. Herbert drops back to throw. He throws it to the corner, and Martavis Morgan has the reception at the 48-yard line. That's a 26-yard gain. First down and 10 at the 48-yard line. Shotgun formation once again for the Breakers. As Perryman gets the handoff, he finds a little bit of room to the left side where he gets about 4 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 6. And the handoff to Vernon. He gets 13 yards on his first carry of the day. That'll move the chains once again. Breakers now have it at the 31-yard line. Perryman, the lone back in the backfield. Herbert throws to the outside to Faulkner, who has it to the 17-yard line. That's another completion for a 1st down. Herbert hands it off to Perryman, who finds a little bit of room up the middle. He gets about 5 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 5. Perryman struggled in the running game in their last game as well, as he only averaged just over 2 yards a carry against Milwaukee. 2nd down and 5. Vernon gets the carry, and he has some room to the right side. He's going to get into the end zone pretty easily there. Paul Vernon scores the first touchdown for the Breakers in this game, and the Breakers are within an extra point of tying this game. Moody on for the extra point. And we're tied at 7. Second down and 9 for the Breakers. As Perryman gets the handoff, he has some room to the left side, and he fights his way to the 28-yard line. That's a New Orleans 1st down. Herbert throws it towards the end zone and is deflected by Matthews of the Panthers. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. Herbert throws and he has Saunders down to the 3-yard line. Nice catch there by Saunders as Herbert threw the ball on a rope there. It's going to be 1st down and goal at the 3-yard line. Herbert throws it in the end zone, and wide open is Martavis Moore for the touchdown. And the Breakers are going to take their first lead of the game. It doesn't get much easier than that. And Mooney puts the extra point through, and it is 14-7 Breakers. So Panthers have a 1st down and 10 now at the 35-yard line of New Orleans. Quick throw by Fulton is intercepted. Damon Hodges with the interception. And that's just what the Breakers defense needed, as Michigan has been moving the football so far today. Herbert in the shotgun for the Breakers. He hands it off to Perryman, who has lots of room to the right side. He's still right to the 50-yard line, to the 48-yard line of Michigan. Big run there for Perryman. It's 1st down and 10 at the 48-yard line. Play action by Herbert. He rolls out to his right, and he can't find anybody, so he just throws it away. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. Herbert getting pressured right away. He was trying to set up the screen, but the pass rush got there so fast, he didn't have much of a chance there. It's going to be 3rd down and 10. Herbert in the shotgun at the 48-yard line. He throws it up the middle, but it is off the mark. Way out and ahead of the receiver. He was trying to go for more there, but it's going to be 4th down. Breakers going to have to punt. And it looks like that's going to go into the end zone. Fullerton to throw, and he finds a receiver, number 84, to the 38-yard line. And that's good for 10 yards and a 1st down. Fullerton in the shotgun. And Red gets his first carry. He loses a yard as Duke Howard makes the tackle for the Breakers. And McLean finds some room. He gets 5 yards. He gets 6 yards. That's going to be 3rd down and 5. Fullerton in the shotgun. He throws it deep over the middle, and it is incomplete. And so I assume we can see the field goal unit come on for Michigan. This will be a 51-yard attempt. Kick is up, and it is good. Novak, the kicker for the Michigan, with a 51-yard field goal. And Michigan cuts the lead to 14-10. McLean gets the carry up the middle, and he has plenty of room. He's still running to the 50, all the way down to the 44-yard line. So Breakers defense once again struggling to stop the run. As we reach the 2-minute warning, it is 14-10, but Michigan is driving into Breakers territory. Fullerton with the completion for 4 yards. They go no huddle here. 2nd down and 6. Fullerton throws it deep over the middle, and it is caught all the way down to the 18-yard line. Clock still running. That is Redmond who made the catch for 22 yards. 1st down and 10. We're at a minute left in the first half. Fullerton back to throw. He rolls out to his right. Now he throws it, and it is caught near the sidelines to the 4-yard line. That is Redmond, number 9, with his 2nd catch. And now Michigan calls a timeout. First and goal for Michigan at the 4-yard line. Fullerton dumps it off, but the receiver's going to lose 2 yards on that catch. It's going to be 2nd down and goal, as Michigan calls their 2nd timeout. Fullerton's going to run it up the middle, and he's going to dive into the end zone. And Michigan is going to take the lead once again. Ryan Fullerton, the 7th overall pick in the USFL draft this season. Besides the 1 turnover, it's looked pretty good today. And it is 17-14 Michigan. Michigan showing blitz here. Herbert throws, and wide open is Faulkner along the left sideline to the 41-yard line. And that is a big play that the Breakers needed on offense. And Herbert finds Faulkner once again there. That's an 8-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd down and 2. And nowhere to go is Perryman, who loses 3 yards. And it's going to be 3rd down and 5. Herbert finds a receiver up the middle. That is Shaquille Mason. That's his second catch, and that's a first down at the 28-yard line. Paul Vernon gets the carry. He gets 3 yards. It's going to be second down and 7. Play action by Herbert, and he finds Shaquille Mason. Nope, that's not Shaquille Mason. That is Saunders with the catch, and he's down at the 5-yard line, where it'll be first and goal for the Breakers. Herbert hands it off to his fullback, Gibson, but no gain. This could be second down and goal. Herbert hands off to Vernon. He fights his way into the end zone for a touchdown. And the Breakers are within an extra point of taking back the lead once again. Booty on for the extra point. And it is good. It is 21-20 New Orleans. And that is way out the end zone for a touchback. And McLean only gets a yard that time. It's going to be third down and 6. Fulton throws towards the sidelines, and it is caught at the 29-yard line. That is Redmond, who gets his 4th catch of the day. And Michigan's drive stays alive. Fulton hands it off to number 7 up the middle. That is Shelby with his first carry, and he gets it to the 19-yard line. McLean back in the game. He gets 4 yards. It's going to be second down and 6. Fulton hands it off to number 23 up the middle. That is Red, and he gets it to the 6-yard line. That'll be a Michigan first down, and it'll be first and goal for Michigan. And now we have some movement. And that's going to be a false start of Michigan. Play action by Fullerton. He throws in the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. Dalton Harrell, the tight end. And Michigan once again takes the lead in this seesaw battle so far. And Michigan's going to go for 2 here to try and take a 7-point lead. Fullerton under center. He drops the throw. Getting pressured. He throws in the end zone, but it is incomplete. McLean has a bunch of well, that's not McLean, that's number 23. That is Red with the big gain there to the 36-yard line. And Michigan's on the move once again. Fullerton, and it is dropped as Fullerton threw an accurate pass there, but the receiver could not hang on to it. It is 2nd down and 10. McLean with the carry, but he has nowhere to go that time. It's going to be 3rd down and 9. Fullerton throws up the middle, and it is caught. Up the middle, that's a 1st down. That is Moulton. That's his 8th catch. Quick throw by Fullerton is caught, but just a 2-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd down and 8. Quick throw by Fullerton to number 85. That's going to go for 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. McLean with the carry, but he's going to lose a bunch of yardage all the way back to the 19-yard line. That's a 3-yard loss. And so Michigan's going to attempt a field goal here. This will be a 36-yard attempt. And it is good. And so Michigan extends their lead to 29-21. Still a 1-score game. Herbert throws it deep to the left side, but there's a flag on the play. And it's going to be defensive pass interference, so that's a big play. As that's a spot foul, so the Breakers now have it at the 48-yard line of Michigan. Perryman with the handoff, only a yard. This will be 2nd down and 9. Herbert throws it along the sideline. Saunders is open. Did he stay in bounds? They say yes. I wouldn't be surprised if that's reviewed, though. Let's see. Yeah, Michigan's going to challenge. It didn't look like he was in bounds. We'll get a closer look at it, I'm sure. Well, that doesn't help. Yeah, he's out of bounds. So it's going to be 3rd down and 9 now at the Michigan 47-yard line. Herbert's going to throw to Saunders once again, same play. And that is incomplete as well. And so it's going to be 4th down and 9. Let's see if the Breakers go for it here. They're not. They're going to punt. And that is not a good punt as it goes out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Herbert throws it wide open up the middle. That is Shaquille Mason with the catch. Shaquille Mason has shown great improvement over the course of the season. But it's first down and 10 for New Orleans at the 24-yard line of Michigan. Perryman with the handoff. And he gets about 2 yards. It's going to be second down and 8. Paul Vernon with the carry. And he gets 2 yards. This could be third down and 6. And Herbert throws it up to Vernon up the middle, but Vernon cannot hang on to it. And it's going to be fourth down. Breaker's going to have to go for it. This is the ball game. Herbert throws it up the middle. It is caught. That is Dowling up the middle to the 3-yard line. Clock still running. The Breakers opt not to call a timeout. And it is incomplete. Intended for Quan George. And it's going to be second down and goal at the 3-yard line. Herbert throws in the end zone, and wide open is Shaquille Mason. And the Breakers can tie the game with a 2-point conversion. So Breakers obviously going for 2 here. Herbert in the shotgun. He throws it in the end zone. That's caught by Shaquille Mason. And we're tied up at 29. So the Breakers going an 80-yard drive to tie it up. And now with 51 seconds remaining, Michigan will have 51 seconds to work with all 3 of their timeouts. Remember, Michigan has a rookie quarterback, Fulton, but he hasn't played like a rookie much of the game. Fulton, he scrambles to his right. He throws it deep and wide open. It's the running back, McLean, and he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. And the Breakers defense falters here at the end of the game, giving up an 80-plus yard touchdown to Clay McLean. And that is a backbreaker for the Breakers. And this is now 36-29. And now Burrow is hurt going to the sidelines for the Breakers. It's only 38 seconds remaining. Breakers do have 3 timeouts remaining, but they got a long way to go. And that is caught by Saunders at the 37-yard line. And he got out of bounds, so the clock's going to stop. And that is incomplete. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. And that is out of the reach of the receiver. And it's going to be 3rd down and 10. 27 seconds remaining. Herbert throws it deep along the sidelines. It is caught at the 34-yard line. That is Shaquille Mason once again. Well, did get both feet in bounds, and it's going to be 4th down and 10 after the reversal. This is ball game for the Breakers. And Herbert throws it, and it is intercepted. And that's going to do it. And that's going to do it. Michigan's going to win this one 36-29. Breakers' defense was disappointing today. As the Michigan Panthers win their 4th game of the year. Well, that was disappointing. Breakers go down 36-29 to the lowly Michigan Panthers, who were 3-10 prior to this game. Breakers' defense just disappointing, giving up 481 total yards. To an offense that's not really that good, playing against a rookie quarterback. Particularly giving up that big pass play at the end of the game that gave Michigan the lead for good. But the Breakers giving up 26 first downs is just not what you want to see there. Michigan going 6 of 10 for 3rd down conversions. You know, perhaps the big telling thing is they only had 10 third downs in the game. Ryan Fullerton, he's going to be a good quarterback in this league as he completed 75% of his throws. He had that one interception at the beginning of the game, but besides that, he played pretty well. He outplayed Justin Herbert, honestly. Herbert had trouble completing passes at the beginning of the game. He ended up completing 55% of his throws. And the Breakers, for the 2nd consecutive game, give up 100 yards to the leading rusher of the other team. This week it's Clay McLean, who rushed for 120 yards on 20 carries. Perriman did better than last game, but he didn't get enough touches to make up for the lack of yardage. Receiving wise, Devin Moulton, the young tight end for the Panthers, just killed the Breakers defense with 11 catches and 103 yards. He was catching balls deep over the middle all day long. And so that was pretty much the difference in this one. So the Breakers are going to fall to 6-8 on the season. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. We only have 3 weeks left in the season, and time is running out for the Breakers. It's going to be difficult to make the playoffs now with the way things are setting up in the NFC. But we will see how the other teams do this week. But for now, thanks once again for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.